What's up, family? Happy Wednesday and welcome to the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. We are 15 days away from NFL kickoff, which means what? 4 days away from college, or maybe 3 from college football kickoff. Speaking of college, Japan has it right. We're Tim Tebow days away from NFL kickoff. Absolutely love to see that. There's this guy, Patrick Mahomes. He's a number 15 too. Put your favorite 15 in the chat. Let's see how we did yesterday on the recap screen. We went 3-1 the day before, and it looks like 3-1 today. Mine's a push, so 3-1-1 back-to-back days. Hey, listen, we'll take that every time, and we've got some big-time stars to carry us to another winning day. I do want to remind everybody, though, the Early Edge is going to be on CBS Sports Network today at 1 o'clock. Just like usual, we cover a lot of the stuff we're covering today, but even more, a lot of NFL talk, MLB talk, WNBA, model picks, golf. We'll have it all on the Early Edge on CBS Sports Network today at 1 o'clock. All right, we've already got picks in the chat. Moshi's in there. Bradley Jacobs is in there. Big Cheesy's in there. Well, that's great. But let's also bring on the stars of the show. We've got Sniper. We've got Amags. We've got the Guru. This is a great baseball and soccer crew. I'm even going to throw another baseball pick in here. I got a PGA pick for tomorrow morning. Martin, I got to ask you right off the bat, how you doing today? How are the soccer streets treating you?
Soccer streets are treating me great, thank you, Sia. Yeah, I've been getting quite a few green check marks when I've been appearing on SportsLine recently, so hoping for a few more of them, keep that run going. But yeah, we're in the opening weeks of the season still, so we're still kind of feeling out how each team is shaping up. But yeah, there's a lot of value. There's a lot of mispriced lines at the moment, so it's a good time.
So we have Eric David in here. He says, we're Tommy DeVito days away from NFL season. Sniper, do you have 15 is kind of a weird number. It's kind of a tweener number. Do you have a Chicago Bear 15?
Absolutely. Brandon Marshall, but that was already put in the chat. So I will go back to a little bit of a throwback. Early 2000s, Jim Miller days away.
Wow. Well, Brandon Marshall's a great call out. I'll go Golden Tate. Speaking of receivers. All right, before we get to picks, Amags, I got to ask you, because you came into the show before we went live and you said, hey, you all caught the Buckets video yesterday. Is Buckets ready for major league action? Your response?
So I thought it was pretty funny that he did bunting. He did not realize through the entire thing just how close he was to miss hitting one of those bunts by just a small margin and taking it right back off the face, especially with the helmet. The way he was wearing it was not protecting any of his face. I thought it was pretty funny. And as we mentioned, he only took, I think, one swing and was incredibly late on that swing. So he's got some work to do. Probably why he was just bunting.
Yeah. Makes sense. Sniper, go ahead.
A word to the wise, if you're going to talk trash about how easy something looks, then maybe be able to do it a little bit and not just awkwardly try to bunt every time.
I love that you have the bat with you, Sniper. It does. I know I just said
it had to come out today after that display.
Yeah, it does. Every time it reminds me of Daniel Alistair Caffey, a.k.a. Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men. Me and Sniper's probably our top movie of all time. Jeff Sternberg, before we get to Martin Green's 2 soccer picks, I want to wish you a happy birthday. The chat is way ahead of me. They're wishing you a happy birthday. And Amags, no offense, but he says all he wants for his birthday is another Clay Holmes blown save. I'd like that too, Jeff Sternberg. Again, happy birthday. All right, Martin Green, no pressure, but it's his birthday. So if we could start the show off with, I don't know, maybe a 2-0 on the pitch. What do you think?
I will certainly try, Sia. I will certainly try. It was a bit difficult to find picks for today's slate. I must admit, there's not a great deal of action taking place. There's 4 Champions League qualifiers. I finally found one that I quite like. It is a Champions League game between Young Boys and Galatasaray. Young Boys are the Swiss champions. Strange name, but a pretty good team. But they've made a really poor start to the new season. 6 goals scored and 13 conceded in just 5 games so far. However, they did secure a morale-boosting 10-0 win against lower league opposition in the first round of the Swiss Cup at the weekend. So win could be in their sails a little bit here. Both teams to score has paid off in both of Galatasaray's league games so far this season. I think it should really land again in this one. I've combined it with under 5.5 goals to get a bit more value because I can't really see this being a 6-goal thriller. That's got me combined odds of -136. But both teams to score and over 2.5 goals is another option if you prefer a bit more of a conventional bet there. And looking ahead to the weekend, I think that LA Galaxy really should pick up a home win against Atlanta United. They have the joint best home record in the league so far this season, whereas Atlanta have lost 6 out of 12 away games, including 3 of their last 4 matches on the road, so they don't travel well. I found odds of -133 on LA Galaxy money line, which looks really attractive, but just to bring it up to plus money for the show, I threw in Inter Milan, who really should make short work of Lecce in Serie A. 2-team parlay plus 100. I also quite like the idea of adding in Bayern Munich and RB Leipzig to make it a 4-team parlay with longer odds, but just going for Inter Milan, LA Galaxy plus 100 for this weekend pick.
All right, that's 2 picks for you. And it looks like Brad Morris and Bradley Jacobs have some picks on the pitch in the chat. So check those out as well. If you want to make any of those picks, whether it's Martin's, the ones in the chat, which are always great, or Amags or Sniper or mine. If you want to go that route, you can go to BetMGM. New BetMGM customers can sign up today and get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10 and you will receive up to $1,500 instantly. If your bet loses with bonus code EDGE, that's bonus code EDGE, EDGE. That is a different image of Jamie Foxx. It's so different from the one before with the green jacket. It almost doesn't look like him. I'm just throwing that out there, but handsome man nonetheless. I had a chance to meet Jamie Foxx some time ago. One of the nicest guys one of the nicest celebrities, but nicest people I've ever met. So just an FYI there. Really super great guy. All right, we got to get to we got a lot of MLB to cover, Sniper and Amags, and a little bit of golf to cover. And we got to cover some of Gipper's picks in the chat, and Liddy and CID and everyone else in there. We're going to do it right after this message from our partners.
College football is back. SMU at Nevada on CBS Sports Network.
All right, we're back on the Early Edge, presented by BetMGM, the sports book born in Vegas. And Amags, we go to you. We got a lot of MLB picks today. You're going to kick us off.
Well, I'll keep it rather simple for you here, Sia. We, of course, have some day baseball. I know that's obviously exciting for many of you, but I am going to go to a player prop here in a game just before 7 o'clock tonight. And we're going to try to attack Rodri Munoz with Adrian Del Castillo. Maybe not a name that you have heard all that often, but we're going to go over 1.5 hit run RBI. We got plus 110 a little earlier on MGM. Hopefully that's still there if you want to go and grab it. I haven't double checked the price in the last few minutes here, but got a pretty good price here on Castillo to go over 1.5 hit run and RBI in these first 8 games that he's been called up to the majors. He's had a hit in at least 6 of them. He's really done very well. And the big thing, like I mentioned, I want to take a shot at Munoz here, who has been terrible against lefties, a near 400 average against lefties. He's allowed 14 home runs in a pretty short sample. I believe under 40 innings here for Munoz. So 14 home runs, really tough, giving up a lot of hard contact to that left side. I think Del Castillo here, with the way that he's been going, pretty hot, kind of the way that we want to attack some of these hitters is try to get on that guys that are hot, keep with the hot hand. A lot of times when you get into that rhythm with baseball, it's just, a couple of weeks could make your whole season. So a young kid like this coming up to the majors, really exciting. I've liked what I've seen so far. We're getting plus money on a guy that should be in the middle of the order against a pitcher I really don't love. He's from the right side of the better side of the plate, I say, which is the left for us here today against Munoz. So I will take all the plus money you want to give me. And I do have to say 2 things here. One, Jeff, I'll leave it at this. When Clay Holmes comes into the game is over. So I'll let you decide how you want to take that. And then I do really like Sniper's one of his plays here. He's going to give out on a pitcher strikeouts. I think a really good look.
That was really well put, Amags. We could certainly go both sides with that comment. Hey, let me ask you, let's stick with the Yankees real quick, because it looks like Sniper responded to a comment, like a home run comment. I think it was Rick Funcannon earlier in the show who asked in the chat, Soto or Judge to go the yard. Any thoughts on them, or just home run props in general as it relates to the Yankees?
I'll take both of them. Look, you're going to get the lefty with Soto. Home run last night, though. Same thing with Judge. They went back-to-back, so home run last night for Judge. I was looking at the hit run RBI. It was like minus 160 for Soto at 1.5, and then Judge was 2.5 for plus money. I think I like Judge on the hit run RBI more. But I think I actually kind of like Soto with his better odds for the home run a little bit more.
Sniper, your response?
Yeah, Joey Cantillo on the mound for the Guardians. He's given up 4 home runs in 13 innings. Lefty there. Like I said, it's easy to like Judge, but the only thing I thought, just like I said yesterday, was you do worry if the lefty gets Soto out, if Judge gets pitched around and gets walked. But like after that game last night that took forever and went deep, was it 12 innings or 13? Both teams used a ton of bullpen. So it's not just going to be the starters. I think there's going to be a lot of chances for home runs today. So any home run hitter on either side, I would be good with going on that one on a home run prop.
All right, and Martin, can you respond to, I know you just responded to a comment about Malmo. What was that question and what was your response to the pitch?
It was asking whether both teams to score looks like a good bet in the Malmo versus Sparta Prague game, and I think it does. Malmo are the home team, so they should get on the score sheet. They're a solid team, and they haven't been defending very well, though, and Sparta Prague have a very prolific striker. So, yeah, both teams to score does look like a good option there.
All right, and go ahead, Amags.
Just real quick, didn't want to get off the Yankees thing before I mentioned this. Just looked at the weather. In about a 60-game sample size, it looks like there is a really nice bump for hitters today, some wind blowing out. So I'll just give you that info from the Weather Edge there from Roto Grinders. Looks like a really nice bump for hitters today.
Jump all over those then. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of weather, Liddy asks, where's the weather guy? Where's the weather man? Where's the weather report? M2. Where is he? You're going to see M Squared, Mike McClure, very soon. So stay tuned for that. He's been out for a little bit, but he will be back sooner than you know it. So Liddy, thanks for asking about that. You'll see the whole crew as we approach football season. And we've got some announcements to make as it relates to the SportsLine tool, which you all are going to be really not just excited about, but impressed by. And frankly, I'm impressed by it too. So as we head to football season, just know that the SportsLine tool, which has some limitations here and there, a lot of that is going to be uncovered, and we're going to be able to use it in a pretty great and efficient way. So I just want everybody to know that. Please join SportsLine. I've got a couple picks here. Well, I'm going right back to the Phillies first 5. Listen, Lopez was really good yesterday. I was watching that game and I was like, oh man, this stuff is nasty. I just didn't expect that. Like, I know he's flashed that, but I thought we were going to start to see regression from Lopez. And I can't even blame the Phillies batters. Like, the movement on Lopez's balls was just so good. It was 1-1. We pushed the bet, so no harm, no foul. But I'm going right back to the Phillies because, frankly, I kind of like this pitching matchup just like I liked yesterday's. And I think this one's going to work out a little bit better. Don't get me wrong. Nola hasn't been great, but Fried on the other side, especially since coming back from that minor injury, also hasn't been great. And he hasn't been great against inferior competition, whereas Nola's been going up against some giants from a batting standpoint. So I really like Nola in this situation. And again, we go back to my argument yesterday. I will say that the Phillies hitting lefties pretty well recently, which should be no surprise, but these lineups are just different now with all the injuries that Atlanta sustained. This is part of the reason I liked it yesterday. I just like the Phillies lineup way better than the Atlanta Braves lineup. Good win for the Braves yesterday, but I think the Phillies bounce back. I like the pitching situation, but I like the bats even better. Give me Phillies first 5 money line on the road at -110. The next pick is going to golf tomorrow morning. This one starts right around the time that this show starts. That's why I'm giving it out now. I got Taylor Pendrith in a round 1 head-to-head. This is at all books, by the way. Any books that have round matchups are going to have this. Taylor Pendrith -120 over Tom Hoagie. Of course, BetMGM is one of those books that will have this matchup. Listen, Taylor Pendrith rates out better than Tom Hoagie in pretty much every category, especially when you go to recent form. He's longer. He's been just as accurate, which is a surprise. The approach play is just as good, and the putter is better. So he's checking all the boxes Tom Hoagie's checking, but he's doing it in a better way pretty much across the board. I think the only reason we're getting -120 here is because Tom Hoagie does have a pedigree. He does have a little bit more experience in the FedEx Cup playoffs than a Taylor Pendrith. That's keeping this number honest. But Taylor Pendrith's one of my 3 first-round leaders. So, I mean, obviously, I like him to shine tomorrow in round 1. Give me Taylor Pendrith -120 over Tom Hoagie. All right, those are a couple of picks. 1 baseball, 1 golf. Sniper, are we getting golf from you, or are we getting baseball?
You're not.
Baseball, right? Let's stay hot. What was it, 2-0 yesterday again?
Yeah, 2-0 yesterday. So let's stay on the diamond. I'm going to start with the Giants on the, or to quote Buckets, on the RL. That would be the run line. Look, the Giants are 37-27 at home. They're playing the White Sox. The White Sox are the White Sox. We don't even need to go through the numbers because at this point, that is cruel and unusual punishment. We know how bad they are. The main thing I'm focusing on here, though, is not the White Sox, actually. It's Logan Webb. Webb in his last 4 outings, he's gone 29 and third innings with a 0.61 ERA. He's always great at home, 2.26 ERA at home. The White Sox don't have a very good lineup at all. As we know, they have no familiarity with him. In their careers, nobody in the lineup has seen him more than 6 times. Nobody has seen him this year. Awfully tough to hit Logan Webb when you haven't seen him and in that ballpark. Garrett Crochet on the mound for the White Sox. That helped us get a better number on this, but he's not going deep into games. Even when they win, which they did last Friday with Crochet throwing well against the Astros, he only threw 4 innings because he's well up over his career high. He's not going to go deep into the game. Even if the Giants don't get to him, they're going to have a lot of chances against that bullpen. And as I said, I believe Logan Webb is going to keep them down. Just to give an illustration of how low everybody expects the White Sox to score today, the White Sox team run line was 1.5 and actually thought about taking the under. So if you want, that one's there for the taking. I'm just going to go on the run line, or again, to quote Buckets, the RL. Also going to stay out west, Jack Flaherty. I'm going to go over the 7.5 strikeouts here. I believe this is what Amags said he liked as well. The Mariners have the highest strikeout percentage in baseball at 27.7%. Hasn't really moved much all season. They've been the highest strikeout team all year. Terrible offense, so a good opportunity for Flaherty to get through the lineup probably 3 times, get really late in the game. He doesn't walk anybody. At least this year, walks have been a problem in the recent past, but he doesn't anymore. And after another short Walker Buehler outing, the Dodgers need somebody to get deep into the game and take the pressure off the bullpen. That's going to be Flaherty tonight. Mariners haven't seen him all year since he's made the adjustments, and he's the new and improved Flaherty. 7.5. I think this one's pretty easy. I think he's probably going to strike out 10. So if you want to ladder up, go ahead. But we only need 8 on this one.
Okay. Only need 8 on this one for Jack Flaherty. A couple of questions. Moshi is asking, Amags, I'm going to start with you. Moshi is asking if you like the Royals. Now that's it's like a -175, I think, but he's honestly considering the run line there. Amags, any thought on the Royals before I get to the next question?
Yeah, I was just pulling it up here, Sia. We have Lorenzen and Cueto. So
Johnny
I will
Cueto,
say, I haven't dove too much into this, but like you have Cueto. I really don't know exactly what you're going to be able to expect on the other side. But Lorenzen, I read an article from, I don't know if anyone, I can't remember his last name, but maybe I'll tag it on Twitter. But he had mentioned that Lorenzen has been fixed by the Royals. So just some interesting stuff with his pitch mix. And I actually don't think it would be bad to back that side. I kind of hate doing it at like those bigger prices sometimes. Yeah. So maybe there's a way, and actually, I guess I could mention this with snipers. Maybe there's a way to try to do like strikeouts and a money line, or I saw somebody already mentioned Logan Webb to record the win. That's also a nice way to try to get on a team, but maybe do something a little different. I like the Flaherty Flaherty, I think it's 6 or 7 strikeouts and then the win for the Dodgers as well. I think that's a nice little pairing. Is like -120 on DK, I think, for 6 strikeouts. So stuff like that is maybe a way to look if you still have like those -180s, -190s on the money line and you want to back a team.
Sniper, I don't know if you have any response to that, but I know there was a question, a couple comments actually about the Milwaukee Brewers, Myers on the mound at St. Louis with Gibson on the mound. I always like fading Gibson. It doesn't always work out for me. Any thoughts on Milwaukee, who's basically, I mean, this is basically a pick'em situation around -110 each way?
Yeah, when I went to bed last night, I had 3 games that I was going to narrow down to 2 before the show, and that was the one I bumped, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. I was going to either do the Brewers just money line like we did last night, which by the skin of our teeth, we won that, by the way. The game ended with the Brewers winning by 1 with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th. But yeah, I thought about that because I like Tobias Myers. It's just he's inconsistent, especially with how deep he goes into the games. And with Devin Williams getting in a little trouble last night, I thought, if anything, I might want the first 5 on that. So you get Myers versus Gibson, and you know it's just those 2. I would trust that one, yes.
First 5. I like that. A couple of questions. Chris Kish asked me, he watched the early wedge yesterday, which again, I encourage everybody to watch that. We covered everything you want to know about the BMW Championship. It's in your podcast feed. It's in your YouTube feed as well. It's here, right here. Jake putting it up. BMW Championship best bets. He was asking why I was fading Wyndham Clark. Well, Keep in mind, it was a very specific fade to DFS because I thought at his price, he was going to be pretty popular. I even said on that show, I actually like Wyndham Clark. Somebody had mentioned a matchup, Wyndham Clark over, I'm trying to remember who it was. It might've been Ludwig. I can't remember who it was, but I actually liked Wyndham. It might've been Justin Thomas, actually. I liked Wyndham in that matchup. So it's not a complete fade of Wyndham. It's just a DFS game theory fade on Wyndham. I'm not playing him in DFS. I don't have him in the betting market either, but he's certainly not a complete fade for me. The other question was somebody saw Pendrith over Seabez. Christian Bezuidenhout, I actually don't like that play. I'd rather Pendrith targeting him over Hoagie. Seabez has been a little bit better than Hoagie lately, so I would probably stay away from that. Martin Green, before we get to the recap screen, were there any other soccer comments or plays? I know Bradley had put his plays in the chat as well, but any other comments about anything soccer related?
Nothing that really stands out, to be honest. Some people couldn't get under 5.5 goals in that same game parlay for Galatasaray. So I think under 4.5 goals should be okay, but both teams are scoring over 2.5 goals. Looks like a good option as well. Or just keep it simple. Go both teams to score and forget about the total goals. It's a bit juicier. It's about -165, I think, but I believe the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah, Rick Von Cannon says Sniper and Amags should have their own show, even if it's just once a week. That's really good advice.
Yeah, I saw somebody earlier say every day, and I was like, dude, you got to give us at least 1 or 2
Sniper's
days.
on TV all the time.
Once a week would be okay.
Hey, either way, the point is it's a good suggestion and something maybe we can take maybe into the offseason, into next year, because frankly, we love all of your suggestions and we don't think we have a finished product. We're always trying to improve every single day. So Rick, keep the commentary coming. Absolutely love it. Stego says White Sox, Giants, NRFI, no runs first inning. And I got to say the Bob Barker comment from Enrod after Amag said the fixed thing, pretty great comment. Nice ref. Absolutely love it. Go ahead, Amags.
They were saying that I meant fix like he got a vasectomy. No, he's throwing the curveball and change up more, like he's doing a little bit different. That's what I mean by fix. I saw somebody mention Jose Ramirez. He's -140 for over 1.5 hit run RBI against a lefty, the away team, small ballpark, wind blowing out. I think you got to play that too. So good call there, whoever brought that one up.
Love the
I
call
saw
out.
somebody said he'd hit 3 in the first inning, so it must be somebody who's disgruntled with Nestor Cortez.
Yeah, interesting play there. All right, let's go ahead and check out the recap screen before we get out of here. Wow, that kind of went off the rails pretty quick. Phillies first 5 money line. I'm going right back to it. It was a push yesterday. Hopefully it'll be a win today. That's -110. And then I got a round 1 matchup. Taylor Pendrith -120 over Tom Hoagie. I believe that starts right around 10 o'clock in the morning, right around the time, or if not a touch earlier, right around the time our show starts tomorrow. Speaking of shows, before I get to the rest of the recap, don't forget 1 o'clock today on CBS Sports Network. We've got a bigger version of the early edge. Amags has Del Castillo over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs at +110. And then Martin Green, Young Boys, Galatasaray, both teams to score, and the under 5.5 at -136. And Inter Milan money line plus LA Galaxy money line, even money, +100. And the Sniper trying to go 2-0 again. Giants -1.5 at even money. And Jack Flaherty over 7.5 Ks at -105. Brad Morris says it all. He says, good luck, y'all. Have a great day. Everybody, let's have a great day. Let's stay positive. Let's keep cashing tickets. These 3-in-1 days, we'll take them every time. Let's keep it at that 70-75% level, and we will be just fine heading into tomorrow. Again, have a great Wednesday. Let's cash some tickets on behalf of Jake the Snake on the 1s and 2s, Amags, Martin Green, and of course, the Sniper. I'm the Counselor of Cash. This is the Early Edge, and we rest our case.